Welcome back to Access Anime. My name is Henshin Ikeda, and today I'll be doing a walkthrough and review of Valvrave the Liberator, Episode 2. Now, if you remember from last episode, we find out 70% of mankind has left Earth in order to live in the cosmos. Now, moving on past that, we also find out the Dorsan army has now infiltrated the JIOR to steal their secret weapon known as the Valvrave, which is a big, giant mecha, and I love it. However, one of the scientists is still alive, manages to push the escape patch button, so Valvrave is now no longer in the hangar, it's now on the surface of this colony in general, just out of the reach of the Dorsan army. So sad, too bad. Now moving on past that, we find out Haruto, which is the main character in this anime series, by the way, has just witnessed the death of his love interest known as Shoko right before him. So Haruto sees his love interest, which is Shoko, being killed right in front of him by a blast, and he goes apeshit. He loses it, and out of nowhere he notices the Valvrave, which is this giant mecha. He climbs inside to get revenge, and he is freaking amazing, by the way. And again, that's where the episode ends, and I'll have my final thought and rating at the end of the clip, so stay tuned. But let's dive right on in. So we open up this episode with LF. Now LF is from the Dorsan army. He is a student. He appears to be like he's from an academy of some sort, but he is part of the Dorsan army. Now, he does known as Haruto landing the Valvrave mecha and getting out of his mecha in general. And LF notices all of this from the distance, and he stabs and shoots Haruto right off the bat, and you're like, what? So, the good guy, he's been not only stabbed with a knife, he's been shot. He is dead. Haruto is dead by LF. What? Are you kidding me? That doesn't happen. What? I was so shocked. I was amazed. Like, come on. Yeah, and it comes back. Believe this or not, he comes back. Yeah. Haruto, he's been stabbed by a knife and shot. He is dead. Comes back to life, and he bites LF on the neck like a vampire. It's like, what? My expression says it all, by the way. I was like, he's not dead, he's still alive, and he bites LF on the neck. What? And then moving on past that, we find out the Dorsan army has infiltrated, well, obviously they've infiltrated the colony in general, but the infiltrators are now catching up. Yeah, the Dorsan infiltrators, which were part of LF's group, which is the transfer students, they have now caught up with the Valvrave mecha unit, and they hold up Haruto. I was like, wait a minute. So now everyone is around Haruto as well as LF, and it's kind of interesting what's going to happen next, but they're holding up Haruto and his friends. So Haruto's friends are now there. So this is getting interesting. So it's like a standoff. You've got the kids from the academy, which are friends of Haruto, and then you have the transfer students, which work for the Dorsan army, all in one place right in front of the giant mecha. And LF, he helps Haruto. Haruto is passed out. He's not dead, but it's hard to explain it. It's weird, but he's passed out. And LF, which is the one that not only stabbed but shot Haruto, is now helping Haruto's friends. What? Wait a minute. Isn't LF the bad guy from the Dorsan army? Why is he shooting at his own friends? So LF takes his gun out and starts to shoot on his own friends who are from the Dorsan army. Are you confused? Because I'm confused too. Yeah, so we're thrown with a little bit of information. Apparently Haruto is in LF's body. Yeah, remember Haruto? He bit LF on the neck. Apparently that did something to LF's DNA or something like that, his chemistry in his body. But somehow Haruto, his mind, is now in LF's body, and he can control LF. And it's freaking amazing, and I'm like, what the hell? And guess what? Haruto, who is in LF's body, shoots Adra. Adra is one of LF's subordinates, and again, Adra is from the Dorsan army, so he's also not a good guy. And guess what? Adra has been shot in the eye. Now, I don't know if it went all the way through or grazed his eye, probably grazed his eye, but he has been shot, and he is still alive. But still, I was just freaking amazed. It's wow. And again, that's where we open up with. An amazing opener, by the way. Now, moving on past that, we are taken to a little cutscene with the Dorsan army. And apparently the Dorsan army has the JIOR under its control. I know, already the war is ended, or this little surprise attack is done with. The Dorsan army is the clear-cut winner. And the army well, generally the Dorson army wants all the cell phones from the academy students. So we're taking to a little cutscene where the Dorson army has infiltrated the academy, and they want all of the cell phones that belong to the kids. Why? Theirs run out of power? I don't really know the meaning behind that, but I guess they want the cell phones from the kids. Now we're thrown with a little bit of information yet again with the JIOR, because this is their colony still, even though it's been invaded and now taken over by the Dorson army. Apparently the JIOR has surrendered unconditionally, so the JIOR is no more. Really? That was quick. I didn't really see much of a struggle other than seeing the Valvrave mecha be in action, in my opinion. And moving on past that, we find out Haruto, he kills, I know, this is weird how I say this, Haruto, he kills the Dorson soldiers. So Haruto, he's still in LF's body, he finds a couple of the Dorson soldiers and he kills them. He takes their guns, he steals a helicopter. So Haruto, although he's in LF's body, is gone Rambo on us. So he kills a few of the guards, he steals their guns, and now he is taken a helicopter with the help of his friends. So his friends are also with him, and they're trying to retrieve his body. So his body's been retrieved, and so has Valvrave. I know, right? So Haruto, he has his body, but he's still in LF's body. He has his friends with him, and they're trying to retrieve his body and Valvrave, and it's successful because they do. Definitely worth mentioning. But it gets a lot better. Apparently Saki helps Haruto. I know, this is another character, his name is Saki, he helps, I said he, I apologize, it's a girl by the way. Saki, which is one of Haruto's friends, helps him. Definitely worth mentioning, and apparently to switch bodies. So what Saki actually does is they climb inside of Valvrave with Haruto's body, and he's still in LF's body, and Saki ties up Haruto in LF's body. So LF is now tied, and she basically tells Haruto, whatever you did before to LF, do it again, and hopefully that will reverse the process of you being in his body. But when he does wake up, he'll be tied, so you should be good. So whoever Saki is, even though we know her as Haruto's friend, she's freaking amazing. She's a genius. So where are we at right now? Haruto is still in LF's body. He's inside of Valvrave, so they've retrieved Valvrave, and they've also retrieved Haruto's original body, and now Saki is inside of the mecha, if that makes any sense. And they're trying to reverse whatever happened between LF and Haruto, between the body switching. Definitely worth mentioning. Now, I should also point out they're being attacked in general by the Wafa units. They're all around. It's kind of crazy. Now, we also are taken to a different scene with Adril. Yeah, Adril, who was hit in the eye by technically Haruto, who is in LF's body. Now LF's being considered a traitor because everyone thought LF was helping the good guys, even though he wasn't. But anyways, we are taking to a little cutscene with Adril, and he heads out because he's pissed off. He wants revenge, but he heads off with Quivir. I believe his name is Quivir, and Quivir is also one of LF's former subordinates because now LF is now considered a traitor. But anyways, Adril as well as Quivir are now pissed off, and they're heading after the Valvrave. Yeah, so they're going gun-ho after the Valvrave, who has LF and Haruto and Saki inside of it. Now we are taken to a little cutscene with Shoko. Yes, Shoko is alive. You sitting down, fans? Shoko is alive. What? Okay, I told you it's not what it appeared. Shoko had to be alive, but it looked like she died. But anyway, Shoko is alive, and she's underground with the guy supposedly she was trying to help. I was a little confused, and LF is also confused apparently, or I should say Haruto's a little confused. But anyways, Haruto has promised to return. So Haruto is now promising Shoko he's going to return, and they're talking on their cell phone while he's in the mecha. I thought that was definitely worth mentioning. Now I should point out this guy who Shoko was trying to save looks like a scientist. He's in a lab coat. He looks like a scientist. I don't know if that means anything to you, but just pointing that out there. But again, Haruto, he promises Shoko that he's going to return to her because he has something to tell her. I pray to God it's not, you look cute, but I can do better, because he's going to get one slap in the face. But anyways, Haruto has now transformed. That's right. Now that he's inside of the Valvrave, he's now transforming, and obviously he's trying to get his body back at the same time. And Adriel, yeah, Adriel has been defeated. I know, right off the bat, Adriel has been defeated. No surprise there. No one fucking cares about Adriel, really? Yeah, and the Dorson army is now retreating. So the Dorson army is now retreating out of nowhere. They're retreating because the Oris fleet is now here. Yeah. So eventually, Haruto, LF, as well as Saki, who are inside the Valvrave mecha, they leave the colony. They go outside, and Adriel, as well as his Adriel's subordinate, they go after Haruto in general, and so does the Dorson army. They go after Haruto as well. But guess what? Haruto kicks ass. He defeats Adriel as well as the army as well. So the Dorson army's been defeated per se. But just as the Dorson army was about to go after Haruto in full force, no, because you know what? The Oris fleet shows up out of nowhere and saves the day for backup. And again, we know nothing about the ARUS fleet other than it seems to be they're the good guys. But they're not part of the JIOR, though. Just putting that out there. Now, back on JIOR, Valvrave returns with Haruto, LF, as well as Saki. And, yeah, it's an emotional moment because, you know what? Shoko's alive, and she's now reunited with Haruto. So Haruto is now ecstatic. He gets to tell her what he promised. They're at the shrine, and it's getting all emotional. And it's a train wreck. I shit you not. It's a fucking train wreck. Yeah, it's with Shoko, by the way. Haruto, he calls her something very... I can't even say, I'm sorry. Calls himself a monster in the end. But he opens his mouth, he says the wrong thing. It's crazy. I'm sorry. Haruto had a really great opportunity to tell Shoko he loves her. And he considers himself a monster. He says something random to Shoko, and then he walks away. And obviously... he considers himself a monster now. He's back in his body, and he's trying to put the pieces together on what does he do now. He's a monster because he feels like he's a monster because he has no idea what he is capable of doing now. I mean, he just did a body transfer with some random guy. What the hell? He's like, he cannot be dating Shoko right now because he considers himself a monster. But again, that's where the episode ends. As for final thoughts, this feels like Code Geass. I swear to God, this feels like Code Geass, except for the mechas, of course, totally different. But it does feel like Code Geass. First off, what are we going to see with LF? LF is now considered a traitor inside of the Dorson army, even though he's not a traitor, so I can't wait to see what's going to happen there. Moving on past that, what's going to happen with, Haruto in general? Now that he has piloted the Valvrave mecha, what's going to happen with him? He's no longer human because he can now jump bodies by biting people? What? So I can't wait to see what's going to happen there. And as for Shoko, the guy she saved in the car, is he one of the scientists that worked on Valvrave? We don't know, but I can't wait to find out. But again, that ends it for my final thoughts. As for my rating, 4 out of 5. I love this episode. It was definitely hands-on. We saw a lot of combat with the Valvrave, and we get to see something interesting with Haruto in general, with this new power he has. Is he a human? Technically, he's not a human anymore, in my opinion, because remember, Valvrave on the monitor on the last episode in the Valvrave mecha, it said, do you want to resign as a human? That was the basic question that was asked. Yes or no, do you want to resign as a human? And he said yes, he wants to resign as a human. So what is he considered now? We have no idea. But again, final rating, 4 out of 5. And that is it for my walkthrough and review of Valvrave the Liberator episode 2. But definitely comment down below, let me know, thumbs up, thumbs down. Definitely subscribe, check me out on Twitter, and follow me if you like. But let me know what you thought of this episode, and let me know what you think's going to happen in the next episode that's coming out. But again, guys, that ends it for now, and I got to hit the bricks, and I got to go. And before I go, I got to say it, and I always say it. You can't stop the access, but you can watch the feed. I'll see you later, guys.